Welcome to Conversations. I'm Muqtadar Khan, your host, and today I'm going to talk about President Donald Trump's inconsistent and, shall we say, selective protection of Christians from atrocities worldwide. He has recently shot about 16 or more tomahawks at the Sokoto province in Nigeria. And he has essentially claimed he's doing this because there is a lot of violence against Christians in Nigeria, and he has essentially targeted what he calls as Islamic terrorists in Nigeria who have been harassing and killing Christians. So this is a Christmas present to Christians, and this is his way of protecting Christians worldwide because now America is a Christian state. But there are lots of question marks about him that the New York Times has raised. You can go and look at this article in the New York Times. It said Trump's claims about Nigeria strike belie a complex situation on the ground. So basically, what the New York Times is reporting is that the province where which he has targeted and attacked. There are hardly any Christians there. It's predominantly a Muslim province. And as a result of that, most of the violence that they experience there are Muslims themselves. For example, in the past few days, Christian children has been kidnapped from Christian schools, but Muslim children have also been kidnapped from Muslim schools. So there is a complex situation there where Muslims are committing acts of violence, but Muslims are also victims of violence by other groups there. So it's not exactly persecution and oppression. It is complex religio-ethnic conflict that is going on at a low intensity in Nigeria. But Donald Trump has done this on Christmas. I guess this is his way of trying to increase his popularity among his base. Right now, there are lots and lots of issues that are going on with him. His approval ratings are in negative two digits. It's like approval is around 40 and disapproval is about 55, so about 15% negative. Plus, there are lots and lots of questions still being asked about the Epstein files. Then there is a division within the MAGA itself on support for Israel, and so they are fighting over that. So there is a lot of disarray, and nearly every election that has happened in the past few weeks, few months actually, since November, Democrats have won more or less, and even in heartland of the red states in this country, the Democrats are doing phenomenally well. So given all of that, and then that we are less than a year away now, about a year or less than a year from the midterm elections in 2026, Donald Trump is trying to shore up his popularity with his own base. And the way he's trying to do this is by saying, hey, look, I'm protecting Christians worldwide. So Mr. Peace, who wants a Nobel Prize for promoting peace, has just attacked another country on Christmas Day. So there is a lot of chatter that it was Nigerian government also collaborated with it, etc. Anyway, but there are two things that I want to point out, that there is a fundamental hypocrisy, or shall we say inconsistency about it, because there are other countries where Christians are having a real bad time, and Donald Trump hasn't said a word about it. And of course, forget about shooting missiles or rockets. He has not even issued a diplomatic démarche. And those two countries are India and Israel. And so what I'm going to do in the next 10-15 minutes is I'm going to show you how Christians are being targeted, both in Israel, especially in West Bank and Gaza, and in India in particular, since my area of research these days is India. So I will actually show you some videos about what has happened to Christians in India during this particular Christmas season. So some of those videos are wild. Of course, no one has been killed or murdered at the moment. The violence against Christians is limited to the northeast, especially in the state of Manipur. But all over the Hindi belt, or in the BJP governed states which are governed by the party of Prime Minister Modi, there Christians are having a bad time, to the extent that even holiday on the Christmas day has been cancelled in some states because enforcing students to go to school and making attendance obligatory. So, but I do want to show that the president, this is not something new. There is something called the United States, uh, shall we say, it's called the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom. And I must say, I helped them write their first report, which was more than 15 years ago. And occasionally they have consulted me. So this is in terms of disclosures, but I haven't worked with them in, say, the last 10 years, and certainly not on India. So anyway, their latest report that came out on November 18th says India's political system facilitates intolerance towards religious minorities. This is part of the opening section where it says that the US CIRF has recommended to the US State Department to designate India as a country of particular concern because of the way the minorities are being abused in India. It is ironic that these days there's so much uproar at the two horrible incidences that have happened in Bangladesh. The lynching of Hindus in Bangladesh has agitated and angered people. But what is surprising is that the lynching and agitation, lynching and beating and killing of Muslims in India in the past few weeks and months doesn't seem to affect the government or anybody. Let me just show you what has happened in the third quarter alone. In the third quarter, from July to September in 2025, these are the people: Shahrukh, Arish Khan, Aftab Ansari, Mushtaq Ahmed, Suleiman Rahim Khan, Mohammed Mohsin, Sheru Sadia or Asif Baba, uh, and another Muslim truck driver, etc., have all been beaten to death or killed, essentially lynched by mobs in India. These are way more than the lynchings that have taken place in Bangladesh, which are all definitely worthy of condemnation. And I condemn them. They're shocking. They should not have happened. But for India, where they seem to be so concerned about foreign citizens who are being lynched and killed, but they don't seem to care about their own citizens who are being lynched. And this has been going on for several years. I can share with you uh, uh, list. There's a whole list available of all the people who have been killed. There is a South Asia hate monitor, I think, which keeps track of it. That's where I got this. And so that is also happening. And in Israel too, there have been several incidences in the past few years. The settlers in West Bank have targeted a particular village, a specific village so these are also, sorry, let me share this also. These are the the villages, these are the places where there have been massive anti-Christian incidences in India, in Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. There was a woman that was harassed by the local political functionary. This BJP woman grabbed a woman by her face who was blind and abused her and said, "This happened to you because of what you did in your past life." And so there are other places where Hindu nationalists and basically people associated with Prime Minister Modi and his ideology of RSS and Hindu nationalism are going around harassing. And so these are some of the big episodes in Chhattisgarh, etc. But even in Israel, we see that there have been two areas where there have been very significant events. One is, how do I get this thing out? One has been in the West Bank, where a Christian village has been targeted by settlers. And then, of course, about 53 Christians have been killed and bombarded in Gaza alone. And there is a slowly growing awareness of the fact that Christians are being oppressed by Israel, especially those who are of Palestinian origin and live in West Bank and Gaza. The percentage population share of Christians has reduced to 2%. Can you imagine this? It's like saying that in religious places that there are only 2% Muslims in Mecca or only 2% Hindus in Benares, their religious sites, or there are only 2% Catholics in Rome. So in the Holy Land today, the percentage of Christians are reduced to 2%. And even though Israel maintains its power and domination over the Holy Land with Christian support, with the support of Christian nations who provided with arms and weapons and technology and billions of dollars of foreign aid. And then also there's a lot of Christian money coming in that also is in billions of dollars. There are lots of benefits and tax related concessions that are given to donations that go to Israel, and so on and so forth. In spite of this tremendous support that Israel gets from Christians, Christians continue to suffer in Israel, and Donald Trump has not said a word about it, not a peep. So his support for Christianity and his claim that he's doing this because Christians are just as shallow and hollow about, as he talks about white genocide in South Africa. Everybody knows nothing of that sort is happening. So he's manufacturing fake problems that he's trying to solve. Those frame, he's trying to solve those false problems, and as a result of that, he's trying to get some credit and support from Christians in America who are genuinely concerned about oppression. There is genuinely oppression that Christians are suffering in many parts of the world where they are not in power or they don't dominate those countries. Where they are in domination, they're of course supporting genocide in other parts of the world, especially the genocide in Gaza is so aggressively supported by Christians in this part of the world. So anyway, I'm going to share with you 2 or 3 videos of the violence and I've picked the mildest ones. I do not want to have my own stream full of all kinds of it. So look at this particular tape. So this is one of those nativity scenes that are usually constructed all over the world at the time of Christmas. And here there are Hindu thugs, basically Hindutva-related thugs. There is police watching. This is the remarkable part about India. This is the new India, the Hindu Rashtra, where you can go and beat up people, civilians. These are not police forces. These are nobody. They're just ordinary people who are part of gangs called BJP and Bajrang Dal and others. They just go and beat up people and destroy their properties and abuse them. And they put all of that on social media. I just got these videos on Twitter. And because they know that they are in BJP ruled states and no one is going to, the law and order is not going to touch them. That is the impunity. They know that they are safe. There are people who have committed rapes and lynched and murdered. They are being released from jails. Their cases have been dropped in India. Wherever BJP is ruling, there is jungle Raj. See, look at this. And none of them is in prison. Maybe this much violence and atrocities and oppression on Christians is acceptable to Donald Trump. I'm not saying they shoot a tomahawk at this particular event, but what I'm trying to say is that a diplomatic démarche, a comment by Donald Trump will have a huge impact, and Modi will keep running. He'll go crazy. He will say, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, stop doing this, like he did when the Nupur Sharma happened. He was okay with Nupur Sharma abusing the Prophet, people on television saying all kinds of horrible things about Islam and Muslims, and then suddenly 2 or 3 Arab states complained.
लगा के मारते हैं तुम लोग को, बाकी चर्चे ऐसे नहीं समझना, समझे? पागल नहीं है, बिना अथॉरिटी के चला रहे चर्च.
So these guys are attacking churches with police in presence. He is a thug. Look, his face is here. You can use his face and identify who he is, and you can lock him up. But that is not going to happen. because he's a Hindu vandal. I mean, they keep shouting Jai Shri Ram, which is like a war cry now for these Hindus gangsters who go around the city beating up minorities, destroying their places of worship, and disrupting them. I'm going to show you how vile and aggressive they're creating an atmosphere of fear. Because imagine if you are living in that neighborhood and you have thugs coming and destroying your church, and then there is police there which will not do anything to stop them. What kind of country it is where the police will simply stand and watch? I find this absolutely stunning, you know. And then we talk about India being the mother of democracy and so on and so forth. So this is the last video I'm going to share with you. This is another Hindu nationalist simply attacking a pastor and telling them there's no place for Christianity in India, there's no place for Jesus in India, there's no place for the Bible in India, and India is only about the Hindu religious texts. And he's like, look at the fear in the eyes of the pastor.
हुआ ही नहीं था विदेशी क्रिश्चियन लोगों का विदेशी भाषाओं का बाइबल हमारे इंडिया में चलेगा नहीं.
There's no place for the foreign Bible in India. Apparently, India is not a country that believes in religious freedom. This thug should be in prison. But no, he's a Hindu and he has all this battu on his forehead and he thinks he's protected because the government is from the Hindu nationalists.
हमारा क्या है? चारों वेद है, मनुस्मृति है, उपनिषद है. हम कोई भी क्रिश्चियनों का बाइबल को फॉलो नहीं करेंगे. Am I clear?
Can you imagine? Do you think any of the people in this church are going to call the police and say, look, we are being attacked? No, because the police is already there and the police will then arrest these people, not this thug. This guy is going to become a hero. He's probably going to get a ticket to run for office very soon. That is what his goal is. Why do you think he's putting these videos on Facebook? Because he knows he's going to be a hero for what he's doing. This has become a very shameful thing. And why is Donald Trump and the White House, and for that matter, Marco Rubio, who likes to be a big protector of Christians, why is he so quiet? I guess they are willing to accept a certain degree of oppression because they want to do business with India and they want to make money by selling stuff to India, which India is not allowing at the moment. So in order to not rock the free trade agreement, I think, plus many of these politicians in the United States, they take a lot of money from the Israeli lobby and also from the Indian lobby. So in that sense, these people, and let me tell you, that there are worse things happening to Christians in other countries. There is absolutely no doubt about it. But yes, Mystic, thank you for condemning it. But the Prime Minister of India should condemn it, like Muhammad Yunus of Bangladesh immediately condemned the lynching of the Hindu in Bangladesh. But Modi has not condemned. And I showed you a list of all the Muslims who have been lynched in the third quarter in India. See, these are the names of all the people from July to September who have lynched and have been killed and beaten to death. There was one beaten just last week, Akhtar Hussain in Bihar. Neither the Chief Minister of Bihar nor the Prime Minister of India have come and condemned the lynching of this poor guy. So I think that there is a hypocrisy. I think that Donald Trump's claim that he's protecting Christians is not genuine. He's trying to just kind of improve his approval rating among Christians. But he's also responding to the lobbying that's coming from the Congress. A lot of Congress people have gone to Donald Trump and said, look, Christians are being killed in Nigeria and something has to be done. So basically there are 2 or 3 points that I'm trying to make, that in some countries you can oppress minorities and get away with it, such as in India as well as in Israel. Because they have very powerful lobbies in the United States, and there are strategic considerations. So the United States looks away, and this particular administration doesn't care much about human rights, even though they talk a lot about religious freedom, but it's only for themselves. and for right-wing parties in Europe. Now, if these people were right-wingers in India, the Christians, then perhaps the Trump administration will speak up for them. We don't know what the political affiliation of all those churches are, if at all they are involved in politics. But nevertheless, it is a pretty shame, especially these days when India wants to project itself as a moral leader of the world. They call it Vishwa Guru. India wants to be play an important role in global governance. India wants an important seat in the UN Security Council and other international organizations. But if it can't govern at home, I mean, the hypocrisy of the Indian government is they're protesting lynching in Bangladesh, but ignoring that at home. So anyway, so all around these days, all we find is governments everywhere in the world are hypocritical, and they should be held to account. Unfortunately, more and more media uh, is being controlled by the governments. They're becoming essentially court jesters. They're called Darbari media or Godi media in India, or state sponsored. They're becoming like the Pravda all over the world. And so it is pretty sad that these countries, which are supposed to be liberal democracies, are treating their minorities in such a despicable fashion. So I'm going to stop with this. So thank you for watching Conversations. And if you have not subscribed to the channel already, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and press the bell icon so that you can watch the futures. And if there are some interesting questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Uh, Jilani Sabun from Kashmir, thank you for watching. You are a supporter of Conversations, and I really appreciate that. Voice of Truth. Yes, I agree with you. Especially, they are going to spoil India's image, and eventually, what is going to happen is the accumulation of all of this on social media is going to basically make India problematic, especially at this time where the West is so obsessed with immigration. You will have no leg to stand on. You think that Jai Shankar will now be able to go and complain and say, "Oh my God, Muslims and Christians and Sikhs are being harassed in New Zealand or any other part," and then wherever they go, they will show this video and say, "Well, you are the government in India. What are you doing about these thugs, these Gunda Raj, these Jungle Raj in the states that your party rules, Mr. Jai Shankar? What are you doing?" You'll have no face. He'll just try to say, "Oh, there is a fringe incident, and so we have 1.4 billion people. So what if we have 50,000 or 100,000 thugs who go around harassing people? That's a small minority." No, 30,000, 100,000, 200,000 thugs are 200,000 thugs. They need to be behind bars, not free to go out there. And something else, these guys are also making money of the harassment that they are doing of minorities, because they're also filming themselves doing this thing and posting these things on TikTok and other places. Thank you, Mystique. Mystique, I appreciate this. But I hope that the government of India would do that. Then it would have some power. I don't know why the courts have not taken initiative. And this thing, especially against the Christians during the Christmas season, has been going on for more than a week. It's not something that one incident that happened once. I've just shown you only 3. Some of them are really horrible. And I'm worried that the YouTube will simply block this video or because of the violence that's being projected in those videos. Yes, but I'm not very sure. I mean, yes, this is a sign of underdevelopment, backwardness, but the leaders are not uneducated. Well, in India's case, yeah, the leader is uneducated and not very sophisticated, but I'm sure there are educated people in Indian government and in bureaucracies, in IPS, Indian police services. Some of the people are very smart and highly educated. I'm sure that there are many civil servants in those particular states, district magistrates, chiefs of police, etc., who can do that. In Israel, I don't think that there is any excuse for an educated. It's a highly sophisticated society, very small population, very well educated, and this is the deliberate tactics that they are employing. They are basically committing ethnic cleansing and basically eliminating all non-Jews from the land that they control, with the help of Christian nations and with the help of Christian money, the help of Christian weapons, and with the help of Christian technology. Now Muslim countries are helping them. Last time, when in 2024, when Iran attacked Israel, there were Arab countries fighting for Israel, Jordan and others. So yes, so they're getting support from a lot of other countries where other religions are in majority, and then they are then oppressing the people of those same religions who are as minorities in their countries. I don't know what India is trying to do. What is so the BJP government is not going to win elections on the basis of good governance at all. They can talk as much as they like about being the fastest growing economy and all that rubbish. For example, the dollar is now 90 rupees. So how do you compensate for that? There are consequences. I've done several shows on that particular. So what they do is they ratchet up hatred against minorities, against people of lower castes, against Muslims, against Christians, and then the public in India seems to be so happy with them because of this kind of thuggery that they vote for Modi and his party. And that's the sad part. Anyway, thank you for watching Conversations. Please subscribe to the channel and share this with your socio-political network. In a few hours, I will do much more focused on India version of this in Hindi and Urdu. So do come back and do watch that video too and share it with everybody. So until next time, I'm your host, Muqtada Khan. Take care.